that was God, that was really exhausting. I'm like, I didn't do that. Like, that was really exhausting. They're very nice seeming people. They're very kind, very like considered with their words and with they're very perceptive in like if you even with the lag if you're gonna say something and like even if you just and then stop because the lag and they've said something they notice and were like no go on you got this so it's like they're very encouraging people very like reassuring I guess and I feel so drained like full body drained you know like fuck that was oh that was like a real a real that did something that was like um I don't know I feel like that did something like their response to hearing about the monumental list of shit we've been through and like they thanked us for the bravery and openness that we spoke with and I would like to say mostly him but he keeps stopping me but well enough apparently I spoke with openness and honesty and bravery too you have to speak more about harder stuff Scales he's minimizing now it was I feel like it did something speaking about what we went through and it being received in such a way like I hadn't thought that it took bravery or that we were speaking openly or that that was hard I was in the experience of it and yeah that's all true but I hadn't thought about it and it was like it feels like it's like solidified some of our experiences into reality like I'm much more aware of I don't know it's like less like I'm remembering a movie I saw or like somebody else's memories. I mean, arguably, I have been through several fusions since a lot of this stuff, since all of this stuff has happened. So like, but I felt like I really was the person these things had happened to, recounting the fact that they'd happened for the bits I was present in. They were very respectful with the use of our names, obviously, but I mean, like, very. They didn't seem uncomfortable. They seemed like they were talking to two people who shared a body. They didn't seem like unknowledgeable or disrespectful in any way, which I guess I always sort of slightly fear from mental health professionals. Um, yeah, they were nice. It was good. It was a lot of work. I think it affected me more than I realized. Like I've got this stuff that's really nice I got for Christmas, which is just rose facial toner, and it smells so nice. I use it for grounding, so like I was just I have some on a pad, and I was just like dabbing at my face with it because it's cooling and it's refreshing and it smells nice. And I noticed a couple of periods I had to do that. Arguably, it might have helped me if I'd done it more than a couple of times, but it's like I'd get lifted and wouldn't notice, and then would get reminded by him or some other part of me, which I'm very grateful for, to take a breath. And so like I don't feel like I paused for breath as much as I could have, and I will log that into the things that need committing to like long term habits to work on noticing when I'm going up a bit and bringing myself back down and breathing more. I feel like it affected me more than I thought it would. I thought of it as just like a mechanical, functional. This is an appointment to discuss these things, but actually, I think it did some integrative shit. I feel like more like a person who went through an experience and talked about those like millions of experiences, I guess, and then talked about those experiences. Um, than like I am speaking on behalf of this system about this. We are looking for diagnosis or like treatment of, it was, I don't know, it felt like it would be admin protocol, and it feels now like it was a personal experience. Kind of brought me closer to the traumas that have happened to us and yet further from them, both in good ways. And it took a lot out of us. Like a serious amount. Holy shit. I I did like such a DID thing. It was like such a dissociated, traumatized thing where like we hung up and I just started crying and was like, oh, this is. I almost was like this. I almost said this is so weird. I don't know what I'm crying about. But before I said it, I thought about it, and then inside there was like this back and forth of like, come on, really? Like we just laid out the entire life of our trauma. I was like, yeah, okay, we did just lay out the entire life of our trauma. That could be what I'm crying about. Like, so I was a bit what do we take from that? I was a little bit detached from my emotions afterwards, and my emotions were clearly very affected by it. So, and then just you avalanched me with gratitude and compliments. Yeah, yeah, that. God, you deserved them. I do. I stand by them, all of them, but I won't repeat them. Cheers. And then sort of was a bit starey afterwards and a bit like, so we made a drink and jumped on the skateboard. Actually, ended up dancing first and then had the music on and jumped on the skateboard and like considered switching the music off for the copyright issue, but I was like, fuck it, I'm not monetized and I wouldn't plan to be like, I wouldn't plan to. We swear enough that I don't assume we'll get monetized, so it's not really an aim. So I was like, fuck it, I want the music on. This is what we're doing. The camera can just be there observing us. It can be included. I'm not gonna like change what we're doing for it. So that was really nice and like far too fucking wholesome to be real, and yet was. So very grounding, very good plans, all of that, and Then jumped in the shower, which is why my hair is like it's poofing up into dryness and reality as it goes. Um, Very good grounding ideas, both of them, all of them. I now feel like really tired, which is good because it feels like I'm kind of aware of where we're at. Now I am recounting, and I will recount some more in the journal. Oh, and then we're gonna go on a short walk because it'll be nice to go outside and waddle the dogs around and clear our head. And I'm gonna. I mean, drinking is on the menu. Whether or not I drink will be another question, but I might. It might be nice. We want it to be like I always want to be very specific. If we have alcohol, I want to have calmed us down and regulated and soothed without it, because the way we used it before, I think communicated to our brain that we needed it to, like that was what calmed us down, and I don't want it to be like that. If we're gonna have it, I want it to be like because we want the effects of it for fun or for the effects of it, but I don't want it to seem to our mind or to us like we can't calm down and soothe each other and ourselves in other ways. So now that I'm feeling so much calmer, I'm feeling more like, yeah, fuck, I want to get drunk. That sounds like a plan. Sort of in celebration though, because I mean, this was like actually a big thing. I didn't realize it would be such a big thing, but shit, that was a lot. They when like hearing about how life was for us before even just this last year, um, and then hearing it now, they were really like surprised and really sort of amazed seeming. I guess I'm amazed too, actually, just at how much progress we've made in such a short space of time. I mean, fuck yeah, actually, that's amazing. Now it's kind of amazing to hear as well, I guess, and think about. Oh, I'm really in the room suddenly. What the fuck? I felt very visible for a second there. Must not dive away from the very existent feeling. This is what we're going for. It really amused the fuck out of me, you know, like if I was gonna feel really seen or acknowledged, existent, visible, I don't think I'd call attention to it. Aren't complaining. I know. It's okay. Just really, really confusing, perplexing to me that that's your response to it. Like it don't scare you at all. No, that's what the it was. It was that was fear. But just if I go, bah fuck, this happened and I'm here, then if I hide from it, then you know it's like it's got me. Sure, I'm the crazy one. I think I keep up.
I started wondering how much I'm being affected by this sort of shit. Like, God, it's fucking strange to see your body moving when I speak. I feel like a puppeteer.
Sorry, we could have compromised on that.
Oh, fuck it, I don't care. I need to get used to it. Like, reading out this fucking brochure of trauma. Like, the goddamn amount. It's like I know it. I've always been of the assumption that it ain't gonna touch me. I fucking lived through it. Remembering it. You can't touch me. Does my nervous system know that? Does every part of me know that? What's going on that I ain't aware of, you know? Like, if my purpose is to be invincible, infallible, then fuck me, I ain't gonna let me know if I'm scared of shit, am I? Or if I'm being affected. I'm gonna have to work that out. There were points where she got blanked. And if she weren't conscious as well, I'd forget to breathe. Wouldn't notice. Feel fine. Be talking to them. I'd sort of clock it. Stuff would start moving faster. Don't really bother me because it's just like a shifting gear with it. I just get pumped, I'm ready to go. So I've always won fights. I've always kept us safe. Don't feel bad. Because it feels like I've got whatever shit's getting thrown at me. But does that mean I feel alright? Just because I'm used to the adrenaline. I'd even go so far as to say I like it. But do I? Or have I just always had to? I really do genuinely feel like I like it. Felt fine. Felt fucking pissed off. Fucking hell. There's a couple of moments there where I was like, I had to stop and go, oh my fucking god, I want to punch everyone in. Everyone, not everyone, but fuck me. There's a bunch of people I want to punch in their stupid fucking faces. Was that too pissed off, bruv? His fucking dog comes over every time. Every time I sound too pissed off, she comes over and wags at me. That's the thing, innit? I don't feel like I'm too pissed off. So what's happening? What the fuck's physically happening? My body responds to shit that I don't even know I'm feeling. The dog responds to shit I don't even know. Like, the fact that she's come over makes me think it's at a level. I wouldn't say it was at a level. Say like, yeah, fuck, I'm pissed off. We've known some real cunts. I ain't feeling like a flare of rage or anything. Like, it's so external and minor. Maybe I'm just numb at my core. Well, I noticed it talking to him. I noticed as well that they asked a couple of questions. They always asked if it was alright if they asked the questions. Of course, we were like, yeah, that's sort of the point. And but then I noticed I had to catch my response. Like, when they asked questions, I'd go on the defensive. Like being questioned made me feel like I was being interrogated, and like I was like they were. Dunno. Like they were leading questions or something. They weren't, but That was my assumption. In my emotions, I noticed a couple of times and caught it and reminded myself that we're of our own accord. It was a bit of a struggle to remain open. I did appreciate that they caught that to thank me for it. It's always so fucking hard to admit, even to myself, that I have a reaction to anything, that I have emotions, that I have responses, that anything can be hard. It's getting easier since I can see I can see how much strength it takes to do that. And therefore, like, the fact that I ain't seeing that shit as weakness anymore makes it easier to do. It still sets off defences inside. Whenever defences get set off in me, it's like I really strongly feels like it feels like being the captain of a fucking ship in a storm, and like the sea around me is trying to throw the ship every which way, and I've got to fucking clutch at the wheel. It looks so calm from the outside, doesn't it? There's a fucking lot of work to keep it so. To not go off on people, not explode, not become really aggressive, violent, toxic. To not use manipulation and just be straightforward. God, it's a lot of really constant work. And it feels wrong. It causes me physical fucking pain. And like, maybe that's what the feeling of the storm thrown around the ship is, just that I almost feel like I have to shout over it. The level of thoughts, of emotions I have to not focus on to keep going with what I'm going with. All of the we're in danger because that I have to ignore. So they chose good things to thank me for. I'm glad they brought it to my attention. I have to fucking blanket to do it. But then maybe I don't give myself enough credit for what I am doing. It was decent. I'm glad we did it. I'm really fucking tired. And I completely expect. It feels like I don't even know what emotions I'm fucking feeling. Like, when do I ever? I'm gonna guess grief and rage.
There's a lot to feel grief and rage about. I don't even know half of it. Like, I got blanked for like the whole thing was like an hour. I was probably gone for like half of it.
Might be about, yeah.
This would have been so much harder.
This is gonna be a compliment.
I mean, you can take it as one, but I just thought it would. I really was genuinely thinking of it as like what if us from 2 years ago were watching this and like it just. I'm trying not to make it sound like a compliment. I promise I am. It's just that it legitimately, this would have been impossible. Um, they wouldn't have got anywhere near that level of information about everything we've been through or like what's happened to bring us to where we are now without you working with me.
How is this not a compliment?
It's a statement of fact. It's I guess I really was thinking of like how how much um how much you working with me benefits this system. When we co-host it, it we're capable of so much.
And stop complimenting me then. Become an abusive cunt again. No, I think that's worth. I fucking hate it, but yeah, I think that's worth logging. It is information that I could have done with hearing. It's not something I thought about before. That I could be an asset.
Incredibly fucking powerful one.
Powerful I quite like. I can deal with powerful. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't have been able to admit it or even think about admitting it to myself, but the knowledge that I could benefit this system, that I could be needed, that I could do things other people couldn't, that my strength could be useful, I think that would have been a motivating factor. I think that's worth mentioning, yeah. That's enough mentioning it.
That's fair.
Let's get some fucking alcohol and get pissed.
Alright, alright.